Welcome to OOPS tutorial. I'm Venkat. This is part 3 OOPS in depth. In this video, we will discuss inheritance rule 2. Before looking at the rule 2, let us look at the question. So here is the snippet. There is a parent class and a child class is inheriting from that. There are two methods, parent method inside parent class, child method inside child class. The question here is, so I am creating object for parent class and calling child method and parent method on top of that parent object. What is the output here? If your guess is, okay, so whenever the parent class is calling, the output is parent method. Whenever the child method is calling, the output is child method. So if you guess like this, if your answer is this one, then you are wrong. So why you are wrong? Let me explain you. What is rule number 2? So rule number 2 says a child class can access the members of its parent class, but a parent class cannot access members of its child class. Let me explain you. There is a parent class. So here, if you create object for this parent class, I'm creating object for parent class, and if I try to access the parent class members using that object, I can access. If I want to access the child class members using that particular object, we cannot access. That's the rule number 2. Rule number 2 says if you want to access the parent class members with the parent class object, you can access. But if you want to access the child class members with parent class object, you cannot access. The same thing if you want to access using the child class object. Suppose you have created an object for child class, and if you want to access the parent class members, you can access, and if you want to access the child class members using child class object, that is possible. So using the parent class object, you cannot access child class members. Using the child class object, you can access both parent and child class members. That's the rule number 2. Now if you say, here we are creating object for parent class. So using parent class object, we can access only the parent class members. We cannot access child class members. So here you can see the compile time error. Let me paste the same thing in the Visual Studio. So here you can see what is the error message. The error message here is parent class does not contain a definition for child method and no accessible extension method child method accepting a first argument of type parent class could be found. Okay, that's the output. So the output here is the compile time error.